Airi welcome to Random Idea Stream Part 2. Once again, we are in trouble. We need to study. I overslept today. So I got less done than I thought I did. It's fine. We only need to get through 5 lectures today, which is more than yesterday, but I like pretending it's not to make myself happier. Demo? Yeah, 1 a.m. study session. Hopefully we don't go over 6 a.m. That's my only goal for today. And it's time to start studying. Exam tomorrow, exam today. Exam today. Yeah, bye. Oh gosh, so I definitely know that I'm going to fail at least 1 exam. My only hope is that it's not going to be 2.ちょっと待って。I have a quality of life improvement for you. ちょっとどう? I will do this. And then I will do that. Ta-da! BTM. Enjoy. What in the world is a paradigma? Currently I'm learning about intrinsic motivation. Yeah. Set of principles or views, わかった。 Okay, let me Mina, you're also gonna learn some psychology because I'll explain to you the content of my lectures so that it's easier for me to remember them. And all. The lectures are in German, so I'm translating, so it might be a little bit wonky, but prepare for your crash course in the motivation studies. Free psychology lessons now. So, the first lecture that I did was... No, there will not be a quiz. The first lecture was an introduction to motivational psychology. First of all, it's like the topic of what motivational psychology even is. Which motivational psychology examines the kind of activities that are trying to fulfill a certain goal, and the why and how you're doing them, basically. So it studies any kind of... Oh gosh, translating this is much harder than I thought. Oofa. Oofa, why is it so hard to translate? Well, if you spoke German, I'd be able to do it very well. Oh heck. Okay, let me just explain it with my own words. I can hear an accent. Are you native German? I can't hear an accent. Okay, I am a native German. I am a native German. So, okay, I'll do my best to do it this time. With my own words, because I think that's better rather than just reading off my text and translating. But basically, motivational psychology, it looks at all of your actions that are that you do to fulfill a certain goal. So for example, for me, I am studying in order to go pass my exams, right? So motivational psychology would examine why I want to pass those exams and how I go about fulfilling that goal. So it's about goal-driven behavior. There we go, that's a good way to phrase it. And there is a difference between motive and motivation. Those are two terms that you need to separate. Motive is a constant and relatively stable process, or well, thing that you have in you. Your motive is basically an intrinsic set of values that makes you more inclined to do certain things over others. So for example, there are some big motives that we have in motivational psychology, like it might be power, or it might be the motive to, what's it called in English? Performance, right? Power, performance, and then also social connection. So those are examples of what motives might be. So if you're strongly driven by a power motive, you would be more inclined to do things that help you gain more power, things that are related to that motive. And that's a motive. A motivation, on the other hand, is relatively short. It's not constant, and it's something that's latent in you, and it gets activated when you, like, the different variables in your surroundings or in you as a person make it possible for you to have that motivation to do something. So for example, you're not always motivated to go buy ice cream, but let's say you see an ice cream stand, that'll be like a surrounding world factor, and you're like, ice cream stand? Okay, I am motivated to go buy ice cream. Or maybe you saw ice cream on TV and you're like, now I'm motivated to buy ice cream. Nah, but it's not a constant. It's something you only experience in the moment, pretty short term, when something causes it. Let's see, what else do we have for lecture 1? Is there anything else? Oh right, it's the general formula of the motivational psychology, which is that your behavior is the result of a function of your personal variable. So what you're personally driven to do, things that come intrinsically from you, as well as your surrounding variables. So in that example would be the ice cream truck. Yeah, also there's some other words that we distinguish between, like for example, a need. That's most often physical, something that you need to fill, like for example, hunger could be one, but also for humans, like social interaction is one. Then you have interest, which quite similar to a motive is a form of orienting yourself towards something. But an interest specifically is for a very, very specific topic. Meanwhile, a goal is just like your definitive decision of what you want to do. What's happening? You're getting free psychology class. Enjoy. And that was our lecture 1, the basics of motivational psychology. Any questions? Please feel free to ask questions however much you want. It's probably gonna help me study more. I hope that was relatively understandable and not just me rambling for 5 minutes. Yeah. No questions? No questions, class? Alright. It was quite clear, thank you. Then my second lecture was about theoretical concepts. So it had 3 subcategories, one of which was I don't know if that's the right way to pronounce it, but hedonism. In case I didn't pronounce it right, I'll explain it to you so you can understand what it is. Basically hedonism, it's the desire to only experience lust. Lust in this sense is just like stuff that makes you happy, stuff that makes you feel good. Happy had to happen, right? Ito. So some old philosophers see it only as maximizing lust, only as like, okay, shut up. It's not like that. Ito. No, not like that. It's just like lust as in being happy. Lust as in joy, right? It's only doing things that you enjoy, that bring you joy. But according to other philosophers, like for example, Epicure, he's like a Greek one of them Greeks. Pleasure, good, that's a better translation. I mean, you know, like I'm studying this in German. I'm translating this as I go. So, you know, it's quite difficult to find the right words for it. So yeah, it's about pleasure. Exactly, pleasure, and some philosophers also see it as like trying to avoid displeasure. Trying to avoid pain and displeasure at any cost. And that's also how we define it nowadays, is seeking pleasure and trying to avoid displeasure and pain. And then we got the fun, oh gosh, what's the type? We got one of them funky concepts from Freud, Sigmund Freud, if you know him. Pretty important guy in psychology, might have heard him name. Oh gosh. So he's saying that basically you need psychic energy to do anything. And it's not like you're a Pokemon, but like you need a certain degree of energy to do anything. And there's also a thingy called, oh my gosh, how do I translate this? Homeostasis, I think, which is basically just you craving a state in which you don't have any needs, like no hungry, no tired, no sleepy, no lonely, just craving that state of not having any needs that need to be filled, like having all your needs filled, basically. Ito. So he's got this cool little model of you, it, and the supreme you. Ito. I'm very sure that those have like different words in English, but I'm translating very literally here. Also, welcome Spider-Man. Spider-Man. Ito. Demo, yeah, you, it, and the better you. ID, ego, and super ego. Ah, wakatta. Okay, I'll go with that then. It. I think you mean it. Well, the it is basically your needs. Hungry, that's it. Or ID. Okay, wakatta. ID, ego, and super ego. Okay, ID. We'll call it ID. Your ID, which is really reminds me of identification. I like calling it it. But it's whatever is active. It's not a clown. It's whatever is active when you want something. Like when you're hungry, your it inside you is like, oh, I crave, I hunger, I must food. But your ego has the ability to... You're doing much better than my poor monolingual self. I'm trying. Ito. So the it wants something, and the it is inclined to do something to get that thing, but your ego is able to influence the it, and in like a primary model, and oh my gosh, I Raid. Whatever you were doing in Mozo's stream, this is not that. We are doing a lecture on psychology. I'm explaining psychology to them. Oh gosh, Moze, what did you bring them into? Oh gosh, poor Moze Raiders. Yeah, we're not doing Halo, we're doing psychology. We're doing university level psychology. Demo. Hi, Moze. Oh gosh, this is a doozy. Oh, Moze, oh. Brain stuff go past my head's eye, yeah. Ganbairi, oh my gosh, my exams today. Demo, Halo and psychology are basically the same thing, maybe. Anyway, so there's a primary model in which your inner it does anything it wants to get what it wants, right? So you're like, oh, me hungry, me go make sandwich. But if your ego intervenes, then it can like change the course of your action to something that's better for you. Like, maybe me in lecture now, but me want sandwich. So if it was your it deciding, you would go get sandwich. But if your ego is interjecting, you're like, me in lecture now, me want sandwich, finish lecture, then get sandwich. No, get up now and get sandwich. Now, like that. Then there's also theory from Hall, which is gosh, that one's difficult. That one's pretty difficult. So basically, something that Hall thinks is that he's like a behavioralist. So the only thing that they're looking at is the way that people act, and they're not trying to like find out like what's in there, right? What's a sandwich? It's a sandwich. Sandwich, you know? Sandwich. Demo, according to him, behavior is the result of... Oh my gosh, I need to find a way to translate trip. That's such a bad word. Come on, let me translate it. Translate from German to English. No My keyboard is like halfway beneath my desk. Pleep. Drive, okay. Oh, yeah, it's drive. So according to him, behavior is drive times habit times, let's... Oh gosh. Oh. I'm so sorry, I'm trying to teach you university level psychology while also translating it to a different language. Oh, this is, like an incentive. Yeah, incentive is a good word. So, your behavior is a result of your drive times your habit times the incentive that awaits you at the end. It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour now. Anyways, and not all drives are the same. Yeah, we're doing math with psychology apparently. But yeah, not all drives are the same. For example, your behavior will be different if you're hungry or if you're thirsty. Your habit strength will be higher and you'll be quicker to build a habit when it comes to behavior that effectively lowers these needs. There we go. Gosh. Yes. Also, if you like the reward that you get at the end, even just like anticipating it is able to make you like more motivated, or to like also like pre-simulate that behavior. So let's say, for example, you have a dog and you put dog food in front of it, or you give a command word that means that they're gonna get dog food. So they're anticipating that, and their behavior reflects that anticipation. Like for example, they start salivating much spit for eating sandwich. Yeah. So even just anticipating a reward of some kind already changes your behavior. And that was lecture number 2. Salivating. Ah, wakata. Salivating. Okay. Lecture number 3. Which is also about theoretical concepts of motivational psychology. So for lecture number 3, we started off with Lewin's field theory. So basically, he is defining a field around you as an individual, which is all the powers and all the circumstances that are influencing you at a given time. That might be your needs, that might be the people around you, might be exam, that's tomorrow, might be your goal to, I don't know, hit 20,000 subscribers next year, might be any of that, or ice cream truck that's near you, that's incentivizing you to do something. Any and everything that has any influence on your behavior. That's around you, that's a field. Yeah, and when you're drawing it, like, however close it is to, like, you're gonna draw things close to each other that are related in their contents. My prof was German, city guy with a thick accent. Oh, my bad. My apologies for you. German guy with a thick accent is, not gonna be easy. And also what's going on is that all of these things that are affecting your behavior are putting some kind of stress on you. So with the field, with different things incentivizing you in different directions. So for example, on one side I have my D&D game, on the other side I'm studying. I want to do both, but I can't do both. So I'm kind of stuck in the middle, and that's some sort of pressure that's being exerted on me. Just a state of pressure of having to choose and having to neglect things that I do want to do. And the thing is that if I'm intending on doing something like I want to make new video, I want to study, they're gonna stay as pressure in my mind and exert that influence over me until I do them. Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm so sorry you have to witness this. You did not sign up for psychology classes? You're now getting psychology classes. Right. And how do I translate valence? Valence. Valence. Okay, wakata. Valence. So you got your valence of your goal object. Depending on the pressure inside you. So your valence, which is like the what something is like worth or how important something is. So the importance of your goal. Okay, that's good. That's good. There we go. That's good way to say it. The importance of your goal is a result of the function of the pressure around you and your goal. Yippee. So the better, the higher the pressure is, the more... No, this don't make sense. Oh no da yo. Oh no da yo. I guess the balance is like how much it is worth to you, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, no, this is, yeah, priority, how much is worth to you, priority. The balance of like how much it's worth to you, how high it is on your priority list. If you have a higher pressure, that leads to a higher balance. Yeah. Mada ya, poor Mozamites, innocently living and just wanting to be silly little guys, but no, now you're being focused to study. Demo. Also, the power you have to... if I was paying for this, don't worry, you don't have to pay for it. The power you have, like the energy you have to follow a certain goal is a result of a function of the valence, like how highly you value the goal, through the distance, how far away the goal is. So if the distance is far, if you're far away from your goal, it's gonna decrease the power to do the goal, right? Like for example, your goal is good grade, and to do good grade you need to study. Good grade is a pretty good goal, so your balance is high, but the exam is still 5 weeks away. So like the distance is really high too. So you divide the balance by the distance, and the resulting number is pretty low, so you don't have enough energy to study. But suddenly, like 2 days before the exam, or the night before the exam, suddenly the distance is very short. Now you have the energy to study. Right. But there are also several conflicts, like for example, if you have like 2 things that you want to do which are in opposite directions, like study and spend time with friends, at times that will exert stress upon you because you can't do both. Or the opposite can be true too, like if you have 2 things that you both don't want to do, like study and I don't know, clean your house, then you don't want to do either, but you kind of got to do something, so that's also exerting pressure on you. And if 2 things that are in the same direction, but one of them you want to do, one of them you don't want to do, like for example, I know a good example. For example, I want to go upstairs, get myself a snack. I want to do that. But if I go upstairs and get myself a snack, my mama will get me a side quest. And she is like, oh, side quest, wash the dishes. Unskippable side quest. So you know this positive thing is in the same direction as the negative thing that I don't want to do. So you know that's also exerting pressure over me, having to decide, nah, do I accept the unskippable side quest just to get a sandwich? Nah, not sure. Yeah. Okay, and about the field theory. Generally, it's not that broadly accepted. Also, arigato. Thank you so much, John. It's not that broadly accepted because it has a lot of confounding variables, so it's not easily falsifiable. And there's many influences that are not known, many influences that are not precisely measurable, so it's very difficult to work with it scientifically. And next, we have Murray's motive themes, which is funky and it's very short, so that's why I like it. Similar to forces in physics, but for the mind. Yeah, that's a pretty good way of describing it. So for Murray's motive topics, you got like human needs that are life topics that always repeat themselves, and you got 13 biological needs and 20 psychological needs that they're distinguishing into, and I don't need to know all of them. I only need to know which ones there are, like which types, which are just 2 types, biological and psychological. So I didn't write anything else down, which I'm happy about. Next up. Yeah. Ma, surprisingly enough, explaining all of this is actually making me understand it better. Next is explicit and implicit motive measurement. Explicit and implicit motive measurement. Oh gosh. I hate long words. Right. So there's something that we talked about before, which is reading loud and trying to explain things are both very real study techniques. Exactly, that's why I'm doing it. You're being forced to be my study buddy. So there are 3 central motives that we're studying with so far. That's what's Lightstone, I forgot. Oh my gosh, translating this all is making this much more difficult than it needs to be. It also doesn't help that my keyboard is like halfway beneath my desk. Performance. So performance as in wanting to do well, as in trying to, for example, achieve high grades. Power, as in wanting to have influence over others or realms of your life. And finally, just social connection. So those are the 3 main things that we focus on. Now some methods to measure these would be, for example, to beobachten, witness them. I guess not witness, I guess observe would be a better word. To observe them, either someone else or you can do it yourself. Like, for example, you know those like fun little sheets that you fill out. Sometimes I feel sad. Feeling sad makes me mad. I feel mad because I feel sad. Filling out this form makes me mad. You know, that kind of stuff. Right, so you can have like an interview where you ask someone, oh, how do you feel about interviews? And they're like, sad. And why do you feel that way about interviews? Because my mom called me short as a child. Oh. Right. Or you could answer it yourself in a questionnaire. But you could also do it in like a test kind of thing. Which can be either direct or indirect, which we're gonna get into a bit later. or an experiment, which I learned about a lot in my experimental methods that I was studying for yesterday. Doing the dishes gets Airi sad. Oh, so arigato. Thank you so much, Jake. Imagine being witnessed. Couldn't be me. I know. So, and in an experiment, you have your independent variable, like for example, you have independent variable Mozu stream. You have dependent variable Mozumite. What happens when you subject Mozumite to Mozu stream? Mozumite changes to become happy Mozumite. Yeah, but Mozu stream does not change. Mozumite is independent variable, changes dependent variable Mozumite, which becomes happy Mozumite. Yeah. So as for explicit measurement methods, you could do it psychometrically through like directly asking people. Watching Mozu makes you happy. Why make you happy? Cause Mozu. Like for example, you could have a personality research forum where you have different questions relating to the different kind of motives, and you're asking people to rank them, what they think about it, etc. Or you could have a questionnaire to determine your current motivation, like how you currently feel about a task you're doing, how hard do you think it is, if you're interested in it, etc. The advantages of such explicit measuring is that it's objective, it's relatively reliable, and it's more senari. Yeah, I'm teaching you psychology today. And you have a lot of skills that you can compare and combine, and that's good. Meanwhile, the negatives are that if you ask people, you can only really be aware of things that they themselves are aware of. So maybe they have subconscious needs and subconscious goals that they themselves don't even know. And if your only information is asking them, then if they don't know something, you won't know it either. So it's only good for knowing things that they know, which are conscious. Yeah. Also, there's a lot of potential room for error. One thing which I learned from my other lecture is, for example, reactivity. Like, if a researcher asks you, why do you watch Mozu streams? You're likely to answer something like, oh, it makes me happy. I like seeing her energetic. It makes me feel like I have company. And you're not very likely to say it's cause I like her big boba. It's cause she got a big rack and it bounces up and down. You're not gonna say that. You're not going to say that. So, because you know you're being studied, you're not gonna say the truth. Cause you're like, oh no, they would think I'm weird. They would think I'm weird, so I'll just say the normal thing instead. So that can falsify the results, of course. And maybe you want to make yourself look better, or maybe you just don't remember things, like how did you feel on that day in 1994, what was your motivation then, but you just don't remember it. Or you don't remember it, like, accurately. Yeah. And next is implicit measurement methods. Oh gosh. Right, so that's the fun stuff with like the ink blot tests and stuff like that. I like that a lot. So you're doing it through projection. Like, the thoughts that are subconsciously in your mind, your subconscious attitudes on things, they influence how you actively perceive things. And the most important example with that is like looking at those ink blots that they give you, and you're like, yes, that looks like Mozu. And then the scientist is like, okay, that is a circular ink blot does not look like Moze, but they think it looks like Moze. And that says something about you. Oh! So you got a couple of tests. Like for example, where they give you a picture that's relevant to a motive, and you have to tell a story to the picture. So they might show you a picture of two people talking, and you know, some people will be like, oh, these people are best friends, and they're really good friends, and they're having the bestest friendly time. And if they say something like that, you can tell that maybe they're mostly interested, or maybe they're mostly involved with like the social motive. Or maybe they go, oh my gosh, that's his boss, he just failed his task that the boss gave him, he's gonna get fired. So maybe those are more like a performance driven people now. So the advantages of these implicit methods are that they're pretty objective, and they can collect multiple motives at once. Meanwhile, the downside is that they're not very reliable. They're very person specific, and there's not and just more reactivity. Like if you look at an ink blot and you're like, this looks like when my mom used to call me short. Maybe you're embarrassed about that, and maybe you're not gonna tell it to the researcher, so instead you're gonna say, this reminds me of the happy moment when my mother said I was a tall and strong boy. So you know, like self-reporting. Oh. Then, no. We have, oh my gosh, what is congruence? I'm giving up. Modaya, these German words. German words no good. German words no bueno. No. Okay, anyways, so that was how far I've done it until now. And I gotta get to my lecture 5. Oh my gosh. I think I already forgot half the things I talked about. My only saving grace is that it's a multiple choice test. So you know, like hopefully I'll remember things when I see the name of concepts, right? Like, you know, like remembering something from nothing is difficult, but remembering something like when you have the words in front of you is very easy. So I'm praying. gosh, tomorrow is gonna be very annoying. Yeah, first I have to write a 1.5 hour exam where I have to write like fully fully written out text, including a research design, which is gonna be like 50% of the grade, which is gonna be very scary. And then I have my 2 other exams right after, which I've already given up on passing all of them. I know one of them I'm failing for sure, but I'm trying not to fail the other. What are y'all? Oh gosh, yeah. I'm hoping that I pass my first exam, because if I have to retake more than 2, I'm just I think I'll just go move and live in a trash can maybe. Maybe. Oh yeah. Would you still love Airi if she was a trash can streamer? Hmm. Oh, I hate whatever this is. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Ma. Oh, this is actually interesting. Only some of it though. Can you summarize once I'm done with it? Can't teach something if I am not done learning it yet. Gosh, how many more pages? Oh, why so long? Yen. Hey, can you teach us how to tie our shoelaces? Also, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Blake Kite. Ma, let me teach it to you. Up until this point, then I'm probably gonna end stream. Oh yeah, I'm finding that I'm a little bit less productive because I'm distracted by you. And considering my exams tomorrow, I'm sorry, but I can't do that today. I need to be peak focus. Demo. So lecture 5 is about intrinsic motivation. Sorry, Ma, it's fine. The explaining parts to you is actually good, but like if I'm just trying to study the lecture, it's not that good. Broken links, Ma, just tell me which ones are broken. So, lecture 5 is about intrinsic motivation. There's a difference between intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic is when you're motivated to do something like from within you. For example, I'm motivated to stream because it makes me happy. I'm motivated to make videos because I like learning new skills. I like making videos because I like watching a funny number go up. Meanwhile, extrinsic motivation would be I am forced to do videos because my mama is standing behind me with a shoe and she'll beat me if I don't do the videos. Or, I'm making videos because a guy gives me $5 every time I do a video. You know? Wasn't all these things are broken, Makata. Make sure to check it then now. So basically with extrinsic motivation, you're doing something because of the consequences. Meanwhile, with intrinsic, you're just doing it for the sake of it. And then, And there's also a difference between interest and intrinsic motivation. So for example, intrinsic motivation, because it's motivation, it's something that's a non-constant state. It's right away, it's like it's for your immediate like actions. Meanwhile, interest is just like a status, like, oh, I'm interested in dragons, I'm interested in Pokemon, you know? But that doesn't have to be like in the moment, that doesn't have to be activated. And there are different ways of measuring it. Like for example, you could do your little questionnaire, or you could do it experimentally with something called free choice paradigm. Paradigm? Yes. So for free choice paradigm, they give you like options. Paradigm, yeah, I don't know what it's called. I don't know how to translate it. Paradigma? Paradigma? Paradigm? Paradigm? Wakata! Paradigm. Oh my gosh, English language doesn't make any sense in my humble opinion. Paradigm. Paradigm, not a paradigm. Shut up, paradigm. I always said paradigm. Free choice paradigm, where they give you the option between doing different activities. Like for example, the researcher is like, I will put you in this empty room, but you could either watch television or solve an IQ test. You get to decide what you want to do. And you know, then they research which one of them you do. This is to self-decision theory, and there are like different parts. So theory A is the theory of basic needs. It means that, you know, the three basic desires that we talked about, like power, competence, and social connection. You know, anything done to fulfill these three things will be an intrinsic motivation. Because everyone is intrinsically motivated to feel happy and to have personal growth. Yeah. Copy press broke. I'll have a look at it after. Then there's the cognitive rating theory. This one I understand it well. Basically it means that people are intrinsically motivated to do things. People intrinsically want to learn things, they're curious, they want to experience things, but it's a corruption effect. As soon as you give them a reward, they're less likely to do it. They're less likely to do it. So, you know, child may be like, oh, I'm gonna clean the dishes, but as soon as you say, oh, I'll give you ice cream for cleaning the dishes, they're less likely to clean the dishes. Right. Which, you know, it sounds like it shouldn't make sense, but it does apparently. Because you, like, your brain, it registers the cause for doing it differently. You're thinking like, oh, you know, like when you're doing it for yourself, you're thinking, oh, I'm doing this because I want to. When you're doing it because of an extrinsic motivation, you're like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm expected to. It's like that very common example of like wanting to clean your room until your mom tells you to clean your room, and you suddenly don't want to clean your room anymore. I have felt it very often. And then finally, the theory of the organism integration. Yeah. I don't know what that means, but I'll find it out someday. Yeah. Okay, now. And that was my stream for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Oh gosh, hopefully I can finish this all today. I'll see you then. Bye bye. Mwah. Oh.